It's true. I quit my job. Most people start their entrepreneurial journey by first having a job and working on their side hustle until it becomes their full-time hustle. Meaning that they'll work their side hustle until the income that they get from their side hustle equals or exceeds the income that they're getting from their main job. But my story is a little different. And my friends who know me know I'm a risk taker, and working a job for the rest of my life was never in my plan. So in this video, I'm just gonna tell you guys my story of how I got into real estate and entrepreneurship and how I took a huge leap of faith quitting my high-paying job. What's up, you guys? My name is Lillian Chukwueze, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the family. I drop multiple videos a week about real estate, entrepreneurship, and investing, and all I ask is that you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if any of those topics interest you, and definitely hit the notification bell so you get alerted when I drop the next video. All right, so how I got involved in entrepreneurship. First and foremost, like a lot of people, it was through an MLM, a multi-level marketing company called Wake Up Now. Some of you know my story. I was involved in that and it was fun, it was cool, I was making money. This was way back when I was like 20 years old, junior year in high school, when I joined my first MLM. And honestly, it taught me a lot. You know, I have no negative things to say about it. It taught me so much. It taught me the foundation of business and basically being able to, one, personal development. It taught me personal development so much because I dove right into books, podcasts, YouTube videos, all about personal development and mindset and just being able to train your brain. And honestly, having that right mindset and building that foundation was so essential in my, progress moving forward, because no matter what I ended up getting into, I understood that I had to persevere in order to basically reap the benefits. And of course, when it comes to business, the MLM taught me a lot. When it comes to, investing in your business, investing in your mind, investing in your team, being able to lead and manage a team, it taught me a lot of things. And basically from all the books that I was reading, I learned that I definitely wanted to continue on this journey of entrepreneurship and having my own business, because I realized that working a job for 40, 50 years is not really the best return on your time or your money. So yeah, fast forward, I decided to continue my basketball career and play professionally over in Spain. And that was a great experience. And while I was out there, I basically had a lot of time to study and kind of just learn more about business and just get into some other ventures. Specifically, at the time I was trying to get into anything that I could do online, like any type of, marketing, digital marketing. So I did actually start a digital marketing company out there. And honestly, you guys will see a lot of things in my journey. If you look back on my YouTube channel, even on my Instagram, you'll see that I started doing, all these other things. Digital marketing was pretty much my next big venture, because it was what I was really, really focused on. I invested a lot of money in education and learning about the digital marketing world, online advertising and things of that nature, just building out my own marketing agency, which I still do want to do in the future, but that's on hold right now. But yeah, so, I went from playing basketball, building, a digital marketing company. Then I came back to America after I pretty much finished my basketball career. And I started working a job with autistic children. Why? Because my friend was able to get me in on the job. I mean, isn't that how a lot of us get jobs? So the job was actually very, very challenging, but very rewarding at the same time, because I knew I was dealing with kids that, had issues that they couldn't really deal with at home or, even deal with in school, and that I was able to provide a service that helped them get better and really help the families at home. So it was a very rewarding job. And at the time, I'm about 24, 25, I think. I was about 25. I was on track to essentially, I could have made $50,000 to $60,000. As a 25-year-old, that's a good salary, because the average person in America only makes about $40,000 a year. So the opportunity I had to make 50 or 60, I mean, it sounded good, but I knew in the back of my mind that I know I want to be an entrepreneur, and I'm just going to use this job as a stepping stone to invest that money into my business, as opposed to, getting the profits in my business and just using the profits to reinvest. And honestly, this strategy of having a job, using that money to invest into your business, I do think is a better strategy than others, but we'll get into it a little bit more. So as time went on, I was doing some digital marketing for some gyms in my area. Actually, a gym that I was previously working at. I actually shot a commercial for them. You can actually still see the commercial on my page. And I was doing a lot of videography. I was doing so many different things, and my brain just goes from one thing to the next. So I had the digital marketing company, which was mainly just running advertisements for these gyms. But then I had the idea that, okay, these gyms have really sucky social media content and commercials, so let me go ahead and make those commercials. So I started doing videography And then that led to, okay, well, let me do videography for real estate agents because I want to get into real estate eventually. And then my brother brought to me this idea of wholesaling, and I was like, what the hell is wholesaling? And then we started doing it, and then we had success, so I just ran with that. And that's how I got involved in real estate. So this was all still while I was working my job. I was doing a lot of things while I was working my job because I'm a hustler, and that's what hustlers do. So basically one day I actually had a mental breakdown after coming home from my job. And as some of you may or may not know, when you work with autistic kids, some of them can be aggressive, some aren't, but some are. But I was working in a school that actually had all 90, I think almost all of them were very aggressive. They were like the kids that pretty much got kicked out of the regular autistic school to go into the alternative autistic school. And it was rough. So I had a mental breakdown after that because I was just like, man, like I'm getting beat up, I'm getting scratched up. Every time I come home, I'm like, my arms are bloody, you know, I twisted my ankle, I got hit, like it was bad. I mean, I'm restraining kids every single day. I'm coming home, I'm exhausted. So one day I had a mental breakdown and I was just like, man, I can't take this anymore. And I called my supervisor and I told him, look, like I either need help with the kid in particular that I was working with, which was kind of funny because when they moved me on this kid, they had 2 people initially. But when they moved me on this kid, then they only made me the only person. And prior to that, it was a man and a woman. And for some reason, they felt that I can take care of this kid all by myself. But that's another story. So basically, I told my supervisor that, hey, you know, I can't really do this anymore unless I have help. They didn't really provide me help. So I was just like, okay, like, I don't want to work here anymore. And after time went by, I pretty much stopped getting hours with the company. And I decided like, hey, well, if this is it, then this is it. Maybe it's time for me to do my thing. And sent me an email saying that I had taken a medical leave of absence, even though they kind of allowed me to take some time off to kind of get my mind together. But it was just this whole thing. And as I said, like, I just decided maybe it was just time for me to start doing my own thing or focus on my own thing. So pretty much since about June or July 2019, I have not worked a job. And honestly, it was a huge leap of faith, even though I was making a good amount of money or a lot of money to some people. It doesn't matter the amount of money I'm getting paid if I'm not satisfied in what I'm doing, or at least how I'm feeling. Like I said, the work was was rewarding, but how I felt after I would come home, I mean, being drained, being beat up, it just wasn't worth it for me at the time, or the money. So, I mean, I could have been making 6 figures, it probably still wouldn't have been worth it for me. So at that point, I pretty much just focused on working the business full time. And it's been great, honestly. I mean, definitely very challenging at times because obviously you have to bring in money to live. If you don't have a job, your business is now your only source of income. Well, it was for me. It still is. I mean, along with other investments, but it still is my main source of income. So I kind of just dialed in and just focused in on my business. So now that you guys have a quick overview of how I got into entrepreneurship and real estate and everything like that. So some of the issues that I have with jobs is that you are capped. And that really bothers me because I don't want any job that I know that, okay, after a certain amount of time or after a certain amount of money or whatever, that I can't make any more money or I can't excel. Like for me, anytime I went on a job interview, I was focused on growth. How can I grow in the company? If there's a point in the business where I stop growing, I don't want to be in that job, which is every job, because I mean, unless you're in sales at somewhere else, you know, then you probably don't have a cap. But a typical job, you are capped at a certain salary. So that's really what bothers me because I don't like to feel like I can't grow anymore. I mean, I know for me in my last job, I spent a lot of time working in a job. I mean, 8-9 hours a day, it's a lot of time. And it's not even just, those are just the hours that you spend at your job. What about the hours, you know, time spent going to your job, coming back from your job, you know, the work that you might have to do at home from your job. Like, it's just, you might, at the end of the day, you might be investing 9-10 hours a day into your job. And then, you know, at what point in time do you invest, you know, time into yourself or into your business? I actually made a video about my morning routine and basically how to take advantage of more time throughout your day if you do have a job, and I'll link that for you up above and down below so you can check that out. But again, it just makes it a lot harder. But honestly, if you're dedicated to, you know, doing the work outside of your job, then your business can definitely pop off. So yeah, I mean, I think that 8-hour workday, that 8-hour model is pretty much, is kind of played out. I mean, we all know that it was created back in the day for like factory workers and everything like that. I mean, I think most of the time and most of the jobs that we do, you can probably actually achieve that goal of whatever you're doing in probably like a 4-hour period, because you're not productive all 8 hours of the day. All 8 hours of your shift, you're not being productive. So it just kind of bothers me that I'm spending that much time at a job And while I'm at that job, I'm going crazy in my head, think about all the things that I could be doing at home. Again, this is just my own personal opinion and how I felt when I was working a job. And then of course, you don't really have much flexibility or freedom because, yeah, so you gotta be at your job at a certain time. You could only take a lunch a certain time. You know, you could take vacations at a certain time of the year, or like, you know, you only have a certain amount of days allotted to vacation. You know, some people don't even take vacation days, which is weird to me. You know, actually in my job, I don't even think I had vacation days. And the crazy thing about jobs is that you can work for a job for 30, 40 years and you still can't transfer it to your kids. I mean, they still have to work just as hard to get into the job that you did, you know? And so it just doesn't really translate for me to put all this time and effort into, you know, somebody else's dream for such a long time and not into my own. And again, just a personal preference. Like, I know if I work at something for 30, 40 years, I better be able to pass that on to my kids, and they better be, the point is so they don't have to work as hard to get into the position that I was in. And you can't really do that within a job, but you can do that having a business. You can obviously pass down your business to your kids and they can start where you left off. And honestly, guys, a common misconception is that there's job security. In my eyes, there is no guaranteed job security. I would say jobs are definitely more secure than, you know, running your own business or just investing. But there is no guaranteed security. I mean, look at COVID. People were laid off left and right with no hesitation. So for you to think that there's guaranteed security within a job is kind of foolish. Not trying to offend anybody, but like I said, it's definitely more secure than running your own business. But you can work your business up to the point where it's actually more secure than, you know, having a regular job. Because in reality, the way that you think that job is secure in that business, they started at a certain point to be able to build it up, to be able to have secure employees. So you can work your business up to the point to be able to secure your own position as the owner in your own business. And honestly, let's be real. I mean, a job definitely keeps you more complacent than you would be if you had to run a business and that was your only source of income. And again, I'm not trying to knock any jobs for this. These are just the things that I thought about when I was working and I couldn't get these thoughts out of my head day to day. Like, you know, my mind was just lost in just all the things that I was doing at work and that I'd rather much be doing, and just my mind was just focused on all the things that I'd rather be doing at home, working on my business, because I don't know, it's just now I've trained my brain to understand that I have a bigger opportunity by having my own business. But again, as I was saying, honestly, I do think having a job is probably the most logical way for people to build other streams of income. Especially depending on the situation that you're in. If you have a family, you have kids and everything like that, you definitely, you know, want to have a little bit more of a secure check coming in, being a job, and then working your side hustles until they become your full-time hustles. But for me, I'm a little bit more on the risky side, so I do like to jump off the cliff and just go balls to the wall, whatever other saying you want to call it. But I'm definitely more of somebody that has a higher risk tolerance, so I'd rather just jump all the way in and see what type of results I get, because at the end of the day, I don't want to question what if. And honestly, that's what keeps me from going back to having to work a job when things are slow in my business, because I'm always gonna wonder what if. So until I'm like broke and on the street, like, and I have no other option but to go and work a job, I'm probably not going back. I'm not gonna say never, because you never know, but having a job is definitely not in my future plans. Honestly, I really plan to build this real estate thing out and then be able to invest in other things as time goes on. Like, I'm currently invested in like some stocks and some crypto, and I just plan to continue to build my investment portfolios in different avenues to just have multiple streams of income. And the more streams of income you have, the more solidified that, you know, your financial situation is, and the less likely that you have to go back to working a job. And that's my own personal goal. I don't know what the goals are for you guys, so you got to kind of figure that out within yourself. But definitely take these things into consideration when you are thinking about either leaving your job or even getting a job. Again, it really just depends on your own personal belief system and your personal situation. So I hope that my story kind of helped you guys understand a little bit more about me, and hopefully you were able to relate to some of the things that I mentioned when it comes to working a job. Again, sometimes you just got to jump off the cliff. But if you're more of on the secure, safe side, then definitely just, you know, play both sides of the fence a little as far as having a job and, you know, working your side hustle up until it becomes your full-time hustle. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Again, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk all about real estate, entrepreneurship, and investing. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I drop the next video. And make sure you follow me on social media. I will follow back. My Instagram and TikTok handles will be in the description. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Stay safe and stay blessed.